This is essentially a Dragon Ball What If video for the requests I've been given that couldn't realistically span as vast scenarios, with this anthology providing 3 shorter ones in one video. The first request is by Antonio Shipalo on what if the Dragon Balls couldn't revive people, an obvious major problem for the Dragon team. The first major change is Bora can't be revived, leading to Upa instead wishing to be as strong as Goku, in order to protect Karinto. Fins then go the same until Goku returns there with Yajirobe 3 years later, with Upa throwing them even further than his father did, and helping Goku arrive at King Castle significantly earlier, roughly just as Tenshinhan starts fighting Drum. The lack of Chaozu and Kuririn at the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai gives Tao Pai Pai and Piccolo easier wins in the preliminaries and quarterfinals respectively, but Fins are relatively unchanged. It's during the fight with Raditz that things drastically change though, as knowing he can't be revived, Goku lets go of Raditz before the Makanko Sappo hits him, and narrowly avoids more than a burnt shoulder. It's in knowing he can't risk everyone's lives fighting 2 people stronger than his brother though, that Goku forgoes his pride and allows Buruma to wish for him to become immortal. Goku then has Professor Brief reverse engineer the attack ball he came to Earth in, and install a gravity chamber, using this for he, Gohan, and Piccolo to train in. A year later, they are far stronger, with Piccolo being able to put up a fight against Nappa, and Goku being able to hold his own against Vegeta, until the latter displays his full power. With the greater risk, the Saiyan are also quickly disposed of without Yamcha having to give his life. Nappa is eventually defeated, and Vegeta pressured when the fight turns into 5v1, becoming an Ozaru to quickly deal with Fins. Even Goku's immortality isn't enough to stop Tenshinhan and Yamcha becoming casualties, and once Yajirobe manages to arrive and cut Vegeta's tail, a far less fatigued Vegeta is able to knock Piccolo out, but is daunted by Goku's immortality and Gohan's rage, before irrationally threatening to destroy Earth. He eventually uses collateral damage from his ki attacks as a distraction to escape the planet. The Dragon team still go to Namek with the idea that perhaps the original Dragon Balls there may not have Earth's limitations, leaving and arriving far earlier when already having a ship available, but with only Goku and Piccolo going after taking a Senzu when Buruma isn't needed to help the ship function, and Gohan doesn't have an incentive to go with Piccolo still alive, and when not bonding as thoroughly with him as normal. Goku ends up as strong as he normally would, with Piccolo not lagging too far behind, both arriving before Frieza does, and getting their potential unlocked before being given all the Dragon Balls when told the Saichoro had a premonition of an evil coming to the planet. Finding out these Dragon Balls can't revive people either, they instead face the invaders they've sensed approaching, but are overconfident enough to let Frieza go into his true form. Without the rage from someone as close to him as Kuririn as Frieza's victim, Goku is incapable of getting angry enough to become a Super Saiyan, and when frustrated at this immortal Saiyan, Frieza destroys Namek, and, unable to endure the cold of space's vacuum, Goku is eventually frozen eternally. Frieza then sets his sights on Earth, with Vegeta being forced to remain loyal to him, and, as in another scenario I've done, Frieza's act of revenge against Earth would only lead to Boo being unleashed, and terror for the universe. It's in this scenario that we see the importance of the Dragon Balls not in just cushioning losses, but their revivals allowing for new realizations for the characters, and for some to play a crucial role later on. The next request comes from Islamic Ambition on what if Piccolo Daimao won. For this scenario, I'll say Tenshinhan is more injured than normal and can't fly, leading to Goku succumbing to the full power of the Bakuriki Maha, and then Piccolo Daimao disposing of Yamcha's group when they rush in foolishly, before destroying the Western capital as planned. He rules unopposed for what is at most 3 years, while getting rid of all martial artists, at which point Kami confronts him after mastering the Mafuba and seals him away. Gero tries to take the golden opportunity for world domination when having built artificial humans 9 and 10, though Kami takes an active role in defending Earth as its last true martial artist, and puts an end to Gero's ambitions. Kami decides to restore the Dragon Balls and revive all of his evil half's victims, when acknowledging Goku's efforts, with him having Popo tutor Goku, who is found by Chi-Chi at a later date, and things are peaceful from there. When Raditz arrives, he initially confronts Kami before detecting a higher battle power from Goku. Things go the same from there, beyond Gohan being only about 1 or 2, and Kami acknowledging they cannot stop Raditz even teaming up, instead releasing the Daimao and persuading him to merge back into one being, with Kami remaining the base. They easily dispose of Raditz, with Nappa and Vegeta not coming to Earth when Kami never mentions the Dragon Balls to Raditz. And things then go on a similar route to another scenario I've mentioned, which leads to a similar endgame as the last What If. It's here that we see the importance of the Dragon Team having the strength to defend the Earth, and how any pushbacks on the flow of events in the series' first part would have dire consequences on the cosmic scale of the Z era. Finally, we have one from Chaos Cateriano 7 on what if Trunks attained Super Saiyan Rage early. It depends how early we are talking really, but both would end up quite well for his timeline. The first option is against Cell when frustrated at Super Saiyan 3rd grade's weakness, rather than being the defeatist. This power is enough to make quick work of Cell. Goku and Vegeta keep training hard when knowing there's definitely more beyond Super Saiyan than they can currently do. Kuririn revives 17 and 18 after Goku gets Dende, and things are quite peaceful for a long time. Dabura is easily dealt with by either Goku or Vegeta, when the lack of Otherworld Shugyo makes the gap between them too negligible or non-existent for Vegeta to let Babidi unlock his power, and the Buu arc wraps up quickly. The events of Super go fairly similar, with the exception that Trunks is able to progress with the Zetor Sword enough to release Rodai Kaioshin, and have his potential unlocked before easily defeating Dabura, saving his timeline with Black choosing to go to another one before eventually being found and erased. Frieza is still brought back for the Tournament of Power, and events in Super go the same beyond the Moro arc not occurring, with Moro's magic still sealed, though Goku would master Ultra Instinct by the time of Granola through Whisa's tutelage. The other option is for Trunks to gain it, rather than Super Saiyan 2, when facing Dabura, with him quickly putting an end to him. Black comes to the timeline with Beerus still dying, but Trunks is eventually able to far surpass him, even if not at the moment, and get rid of him before Zamasu can heal Black. Trunks has no method of overcoming Zamasu's immortality, but is able to defend against his attacks with far superior strength, allowing for there to be enough fuel for the time machine, travelling back in time by the amount of time that's passed since he last did, which brings him to age 777, or 3 years after the Buu arc. He learns the Mafuba from Piccolo, goes back to his time, and quickly deals with Zamasu still having gone about destroying all sets of Dragon Balls in that timeline though. Trunks must still live with the consequences, but is optimistic about rebuilding a better future. The events of Super are otherwise unchanged beyond Beerus erasing the main timeline Zamasu as soon as he can, Goku and Vegeta perfecting Super Saiyan Blue on their own at a later date, as with scenario 1 of this, and Goku having to take occasional trips to play with Zenor when not finding an appropriate friend for Zenchan. This scenario is one where we see the message that the future timeline will always be safe as long as Trunks is able to defend it. You know, that thing Super kind of forgot about. Thank you for having viewed all of these 3 short what ifs. If having your own you wish to see covered, comment them below, and I'll get around to making them as their own video or part of an anthology, depending on the depth of the scenario. Though be warned, there's already quite a big waiting list for requests. Subscribe so you don't miss miss it, check out this playlist for older ones, and I'll see you next time.